My thoughts on the recent events which happened in Wisconsin. So I usually don't get too political in my videos. Politics plays a role, and usually I'm talking about the left. Usually I'm talking against liberals and the left and the PC culture. I'm against that for the most part, because most of it is just, witch hunts and going after people for words they said, or they were joking, or some crazy dumb bullshit like that. And I hate that aspect of the left. Okay, but the left isn't 100% bad. And I don't consider myself a Republican. I don't consider myself a liberal, conservative, Democrat, any of that. If anything, I'm a radical centrist. I don't know about radical, but I'm a centrist. If anything, I'm a centrist libertarian. Okay, that's about it. Like, I'm for minimal government. I think that certain aspects from the Democrat side are correct, certain aspects from the Republican side are correct, and I think both sides have a lot of bitch ass people in them, have a lot of brainwashed tools in them. A lot of them have people who are cashing in and benefiting. This world is full of sharks, man, full of profiteers, right? We in the Red Pill community, in the manosphere, we've been talking about Tomi Lahren. I think she's a great example of a shark, great example of somebody who's a profiteer, riding the TradCon train. She got exposed recently for that bullshit video she put out, the idiot. And she's really a feminist. She's not a TradCon. She's a feminist with her behavior. She's just riding that train, right? So there's a lot of bullshit in politics. So I hate to get political. This is why I usually don't. But if I do, I'm usually talking out against the left, because the left is part and parcel with feminism. And feminism is the enemy for red pill men. Because feminism is what, warps these young women, is what messes them up. Now, I believe that there's evil in the world. I believe that there's a lot of, harm that people do to each other because they're selfish, because they're trying to get over, because they're trying to push their narrative or get their benefits, right? So when it comes to the shooting in Wisconsin, I've got several thoughts on it. First of all, what you got to look at the source. Why was there rioting? Okay, it's really that simple. Why was there rioting? Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of people in this country who are just racist, sorry to say. And now I understand their viewpoint. I've been among them. I've talked to them, not physically, but on social media. So I understand where they're coming from. They don't like people breaking the law. There's statistics that black people, break the law or commit violent crimes more than any other group, any other race of people in America. Whatever. I'm not going to get too much into that. It is what it is. It's a part of it. It stems from it. But the real issue is cops keep killing people, man. That's the problem. They keep killing black and white people. Actually, I think white people get killed more than black people, but there is racial profiling that's been admitted, amongst cops. Whether it's warranted, you could make that argument. I side. I don't really, I don't really side either way. I don't like. In my life, I haven't had a lot of opportunities to like cops. I've met some cool cops, but for the most part, I believe we need laws, and I believe we need people to enforce those laws to a good extent. But when it comes down to it, I don't like seeing cops kill people. When I think that we live in 2020. There's trillions and trillions of dollars going into the military complex for testing and experimenting. I mean, they got all kinds of shit that they don't release, right? And they don't do it for a purpose. They use lethal force. They don't have to. They can use non-lethal force. They can deploy nets. They can. Now, I understand how quick it is for a criminal to shoot somebody, to shoot a cop. I get that. I understand that. That's true. It can be very quick. But a lot of the videos that I'm seeing, they're really not even borderline. They're just plain murder. You know, the cops are just capping people, black and white, man, and it's a problem. And so here's the thing. I'm not the only one who sees that. Our whole country sees that. Everybody in America sees that. And they say, hey, that ain't fucking right. You know? So if your city's burning, if your city's on fire, if the Department of Corrections and the police office and government buildings are burning in these last couple of years due to riots, there's a fucking reason for that. You know, there's a reason for that. And really look no further than all the videos that have been coming out of cops just going crazy. Now, I get it. It's a hard job. It's a stressful job. Needs to be better training. Needs to be better vetting process of these guys. You know, needs to be more extensive psych evaluations, background evaluation. I mean, we can't just have trigger happy gung-ho motherfuckers out there, armed to the teeth, ready to use lethal force, you know, and deploying it when they don't have to, and getting off, and not going to jail for it. That's why your cities are burning, man. Now, here's the thing. As far as this Kyle kid, as far as he's concerned, here's the thing. Here's what I don't like about this situation. You know, a lot of people are hailing him as a hero, and he's becoming a folk hero. Well, first of all, he's on trial for murder. So you guys can say whatever the fuck you want to say about how great this kid is. Oh, he's such a hero. He's you know, whatever, right? But he's on trial for murder. Now, I think that's just. I really do. He was 17. He didn't have a license to open carry. Okay. Which takes away that self-defense clause. However, there is a caveat on that. If his life is in danger beyond a reasonable doubt where he can't escape, he can deploy lethal self-defense. There's a caveat, I think, in the state of Wisconsin. But here's the other thing. He's not, I don't even think he's from the state of Wisconsin. He's from a state over or something like that. So I'm not sure if that law actually applies to him in that scenario, because I don't think he's actually a citizen of the state of Wisconsin. I'm not 100% sure on that. But either way, he's still on trial for murder. I don't know if he's going to beat it. Intentional, first degree intentional manslaughter, something like that. I don't know if he's going to beat that, because here's the thing. He didn't have to be there, right? Now people are saying, oh, he was protecting businesses. He's a citizen. All that. Like, no, man, here's the thing. He didn't have to be there. So I don't think those people, if he didn't die, when I'm looking at this kid's, his whole MO, right? His whole modus operandi, all his pictures, you know, I watched the video of him explaining what he was doing there. And this kid, from my viewpoint, from my opinion, he was looking to be a hero. Okay. He was looking to be a hero. He wanted to be a hero, right? He wanted to be a fucking hero. He felt like he was doing his American duty by protecting businesses. I don't think so. I think he wanted to be a folk hero. I think he wanted to shoot some. I think he got what he wanted. I think that's what he wanted to happen. And here's the thing about Republicans, man. And I've been around them, and, you know, again, like I said earlier, I'm no liberal. I'm a centrist libertarian, and I don't like liberals. If I had to choose one or the other, I would choose Republicans. 100%, because I fucking can't stand liberals, man. I can't stand Democrats. They're phony. They're fake. Okay. Anyway, so are Republicans, though, just in a different way. But here's the thing about Republicans, man. They're quick to pull out their rights, right? They're quick to go to the law, right? Liberals are a little more like shamey. They're a little more like group oriented, as far as like, you know, they need backup from their friends and they'll shame you and they'll mock you and shit like that. Republicans will try to use the law against you. I mean, they're all like that. They're all whatever, you know, they're all shamey. But as far as like how they roll in real life, like, how do I put it? What happened with Kyle is such a Republican, and I'm not even saying Kyle is a Republican. I don't know, but there's a culture of these young alt-right people in our country, right? It seems like the young people, you're either a liberal, kind of like commie, Marxist, right, or you are a capitalist, young capitalist, and you know, in which case you tend to lean Republican. Right, you tend to lean they call it alt-right, but anyway, that just seems to be the culture of young people in our country. Now, older people, like older people who grew up in the 70s and 80s and whatever, they're a lot more silent, first of all, and they're a lot more like, I mean, I wish we could go back to those times because they were a lot more civil, right? These kids today, man, I just think we've lost an essence of what America really is. I think we've lost our essence as Americans. As far as like what made our country great, you know, like as far as what really made it great, which was the people and how people interacted. And now I think, you know, things are just more cutthroat. Things are just more messed up. And I mean, well, you know, what happened in Wisconsin is a great example. It's basically warfare, you know, and it's getting to that point where it's becoming warfare. Now, here's the thing. Again, I got to go back to this. Why was there rioters there in the first place, right? Why was there rioters there in the first place? Because people keep getting shot, man. And here's the thing about Republicans. They really like to skew a story. They like to spin a story. Rioters go from being rioters to looters. Now, I'm not saying the rioters aren't always looters, or excuse me, aren't ever looting. Sometimes they are. A lot of times they are looting, but not always, right? They might just want to break shit, right? So this is how the Republicans roll. They always try to lower something, right? They always try to lower it. So instead of just rioters who are mad because, which is the truth, you know, it's all about the media. It's all about how you spin it. And this is how Republicans spin shit. They're burning shit down, breaking windows because they're tired of the fucking system that is killing them, that is executing citizens with impunity and getting off. That's why they're doing it. So here's what the Republicans do. Oh, they're vandalizing. They're just thugs. They're just, you know, they're just looters. They're just trying to get free shit. They just want to steal from the, like, this is how they spin it. It's like, no, man, they're fucking tired of shit. And yeah, they might be stealing because fuck it. It's a free for all. Because here's the thing, man. You kill us. Why should we work? Why should we work in your system? Now, with that said, if you get to the core of why Republicans are really mad, because they like the system, because the system fucking benefits them. The capitalist system benefits them. It benefits them. And so they want to keep it intact. That capitalist system supports them. These guys are young landlords. They're into Bitcoin. They're starting businesses, right? And a lot of it is from their parents' money, right? If you're born poor, you're probably gonna lean left. You know, you're probably going to be more for socialism. You're probably going to be more for, you know, liberalism, because you don't have money to begin with. If you have money to begin with, you're going to be more conservative. You're going to be more, you're going to like the government. You're going to like the system, because the system is helping you get more rich. And yeah, that's the whole point of why there's a 17-year-old Kyle with a fucking AR-15 capping people in the head. Because they don't want their businesses broken into. Why? Because it's all about the money. It's not about the people. You see, it's not about the people with these Republicans. It's about the money. You see, protect the businesses. Businesses and profit is more important than human life. I saw a meme the other day that said something along those lines, and that's so true. When we don't care about, when we care more about businesses being looted and rioters burning businesses down than we do about a cop executing a citizen, there you fucking go, man. That's your answer right there. You care about money more than you do about human life. Imagine if that was your son. Imagine if that was your daughter that the cop shot and killed. You'd want to burn the city down too. Now, I'm not condoning that. I'm not saying that that's okay. What I'm saying is that's why they're doing it. That's the point, right? And when we don't recognize that, when all we're trying to do is throw stones at the bad rioters, right? Then what happens? Well, you get Kyles. You get Kyles coming out of the woodwork to quote unquote protect the businesses, when in reality he just wants to be a hero. Yeah, I'm out here with my gun. First of all, you're fucking 17. You're not supposed to be carrying a gun. All right. First of all. Second of all, no one hired you as a security guard. It wasn't your business. You live in an apartment with your mom, who's a single woman who works as a nurse's aide, and you guys are poor. So really, you're like what John Steinbeck said. America never took to socialism because the Americans identify themselves as temporarily, not as the downtrodden proletariat, but as temporarily embarrassed millionaires, right? What does that mean? It means, yeah, you're poor now, but you want to be rich someday, right? Reminds me of this old movie from the 80s or 90s, early 90s, called Looking for Miracles, where this kid was super poor, grew up poor, and he tried to fake it till he made it. He wanted to be rich, and he wanted to be all dapper and shit. There's a lot of young white Republicans like that in America that gravitate towards that. Oh, I want to be rich. I want to have these businesses. I want to be a landlord. Woo, you're poor, and I don't want to be poor. And it's just like, it's greed, man. Greed is a fucked up thing. I mean, the people have always got to matter more than money, right? I don't know. So that's why that happened. And here's the thing about Kyle, man. Here's the thing about this kid, Kyle. He wanted to be a hero, man. He wanted to be a hero. He wanted to protect the businesses, right? No, he didn't want to protect the businesses. He wanted to get some, opportunities to get some nice shots in for his Facebook, and so he could say, yeah, I did it. I went out and protected my, there's this weird honor thing going on in America, like, well, protect our cities, and and people say, well, people might say, why is that weird? Why is that weird? We should want to protect our cities. You want to protect your cities, or do you want to protect the citizens? Again, it goes back to my point. You care more about money than you do about the people. The people are burning the cities down because the cities are not training the cops correctly. The cops are killing people with impunity, and it's being caught on video. That's fucking why. We lose sight of the point here. We're losing sight of the point with our hatred for one another, with our, oh, you're a liberal, you're a Republican, you're this, you're that. We lose sight of the point. They're not rioting because they want communism. They're rioting because somebody got killed. They're rioting because cops are getting away with murder. That's the point. That's why they're in the streets in the first place. But people say, oh, these dirty looters, these dirty, like, you miss the point. And then these Kyles, these 17-year-old kids who don't understand that fact, come out of the woodwork and think, yeah, these guys are just shitty. I'm going to get my gun and I'm going to go out and I'm going to quote unquote protect my city. You were looking to shoot somebody in quote unquote self-defense. And again, this is what, when I was talking about the Republicans, this is what these guys do. They want to fuck you up and make it legal. Right? Scummy people try to use the law in their favor. It's an old trick, but a lot of Americans do it. And I will say on both sides sometimes. Push you to assault them, push you to do something, and then they'll pull the law card out. Then they'll say, oh, it's self-defense, or, oh, you're harassing me, I'm going to call the police on you, or whatever. It's just this weird passive-aggressive tricks that people do. You know, you went out to shoot somebody and you pointed a gun at a crowd of rioters. Okay, you ran into a crowd of rioters, agitated them, pissed them off, tried to get them to disperse with your gun, and when they didn't and they tried to fight you, you shot them. That's fucking murder. Sorry, you put yourself in that position. You're not protecting. Nobody hired you. You weren't there legally. You were 17. You don't have a permit to open carry. Pretty sure you're not even allowed to have a gun when you're 17. I don't know where he got the gun. Dude, that's murder. You put yourself in a crowd of people, tell them to leave, tell them to get away from the business because you think you're a hero, when in reality you're just a vigilante. You're a whack job. And how many of these guys are going out there? How many of these guys are doing that? And the police are acting like, yeah, you're on our side or whatever. Like, no, man, that's you just start a fucking race war. So you just start a civil war. Really, the police should be taking care of the rioters. The police and the police alone. Anybody who's coming out with a gun, anybody who's, taken to the streets to protect the cities or whatever the fuck. You're not Batman, dude. You're not. It's a police matter. Leave it up to them. Let them figure it out. Okay? Don't fucking take a gun into a damn riot. Because something bad's going to happen. And that's obvious. Right? That's obvious. And it's so obvious that it leads me to believe you want something bad to happen. You took your gun into a riot because you wanted to use it. And I believe that's what a court is going to surmise as well. So that's how I feel about this Kyle kid. And people like him. You're trying to use the law in your favor so you can legally murder somebody. And it didn't work. And I'm glad it didn't work because hopefully this will serve as an example. The kid's on trial for murder. Hopefully this will serve as an example to where we can say, yeah, that's not smart. Now, is it okay? Again, this is where nuance comes in, right? People be like, well, we can't just let these rioters burn our cities down. Like, I don't necessarily think that should happen either. I don't necessarily, it's a reaction. It's a reaction to citizens being murdered. Okay. But I don't think that that should happen. I don't think that they should burn our cities down, but it's not in our power. I shouldn't say power. It's not in our best interest to take up arms and put ourselves in a fucking riot like that, because that's the result. That's what's going to happen, and it's happened before in other cities and other riots and other, violent protests have broken out since people have been going crazy over these murders, over these cop murders. It's happened before, and hopefully it doesn't happen again, but I have a feeling it will, until they fucking do police reform. That's what needs to happen. There needs to be police reform. Get a net, shoot a net. If tasers don't work, figure something else out, man. Deploy a rope. Do something. Don't just shoot somebody 7 times in the fucking back. Okay? I don't care. Okay, he's got a knife in his hand. Okay. Well, shoot a net. I mean, come on. We pump trillions of our tax dollars into the military, and you can't come up with a fucking net device that contracts around somebody so they can't move at all? I mean, give me a break, man. No, it's, they want to intimidate because we got a corrupt system. And this is why people are burning shit down, because the system is fucking corrupt. It's not for the people. These people aren't stupid. They're not just out here because they want free shit and they just want to riot because they're low lives. They're not stupid. That's the thing. I know the Republicans benefit. I know you guys benefit off all the money in the government, and yeah, you want to protect your businesses and blah, 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 and you don't want criminals and blah, blah, blah. But look, the reason why there's criminals in the first place is because rent is fucking $1,600. That's why there's criminals. Because fucking, we got to pay to fucking live on this earth. We got to work. Oh, that's, everybody's got to work. Yeah, well, some people work shitty ass jobs and they got no hope. Some people are fucking miserable as hell. Many people are. Over 40 or 50% of our country is living paycheck to paycheck, middle class. They're up to their ears in debt. Not everybody's a trust fund kid. Not everybody's a rich Republican. All right. This is why there's crime. This is why people are unhappy. This is why George Floyd was on drugs. This is why, that black guy was selling illegal cigarettes or whatever, right? All these things. This is why. Because our country is fucked. It's systematic. People are unhappy. And then you show up and you just kill them. Right? And then people see it and they say, hey, wait a minute. That's murder. Why isn't this cop being prosecuted? Why are they getting off? Why are they getting paid vacation? Why are they not fired? Why, right? And when it happens over and over again, it's a pattern. And then they just say, fuck it. It's over. We're going to burn this city to the ground. It's a normal reaction when you're getting murdered. When you fear for your life every time you get pulled over. Anyway, this is a hard subject for me to talk about. I don't like to get too much into politics because it's so corrupt and it's so messed up. But I just felt like I had to weigh in on this. I think we can do better, man. I really do. I think we can do better in our country in so many ways. No, I don't support what that Kyle kid did. I don't think he's a hero. I think he's a vigilante. I think he's a dumbass. I think he'll probably get convicted for this. If the justice system is really unbiased and objective, he'll get convicted for this and be charged as an adult because he ran out there with a gun looking to shoot somebody. And it's not self-defense when you put yourself in a crowd of rioters. It's not. It's not self-defense when you point a gun at people and tell them to go away, and you are not a police officer. You are just a regular old citizen who's never been inducted into any you're not even old enough to be inducted into any police force. Okay, I think he was a trainee police. He wanted to be a policeman, which is weird in and of itself. Like, it sounds like he idolizes police so much that he thinks he can get away with murder like the police do. That's fucking weird.